State lawmakers are working every second as this year's legislative session wraps up.
Among the bills still being debated are measures aimed at addressing property taxes and affordable housing. In all, lawmakers took up about 600 bills this session. As always, political specialist Sean Boyd has been keeping tabs on the legislature for you.
As is often the case, there were several highly contentious criminal justice bills, the kind that would typically be referred to the Colorado Commission on Criminal and Juvenile Justice, or CCJJ, a group made up of a wide range of stakeholders in the criminal justice system. It was formed 16 years ago to deal with some of the most complex and often controversial criminal justice reforms. But this year, in a surprising move, the House Judiciary Committee decided to disband it.
Through drug enforcement, 200,000 fentanyl pills were seized just in one bust.
More than 80 bills this session touched on some aspect of the criminal justice system, including a measure making all auto thefts a felony. Legislation that may not have passed if not for a stamp of approval from the Colorado Commission on Criminal and Juvenile Justice, or CCJJ, a group that's membership spans the criminal justice spectrum.
It tempers the extreme views from either side of the political aisle.
Tom Raines, head of the Colorado District Attorney's Council, is a member of the commission that for years has vetted criminal justice reforms, including a rewrite of the state's misdemeanor criminal code and drug sentencing laws.
We were years ahead of other states and the nation in making that move, and it only happened because of CCJJ.
An organization the House Judiciary Committee lauded for two big felony reclassification reforms this year, right before it disbanded it. Senate President Pro Tem James Coleman says it's become too political.
We want it to be less political, less about divisions between the legislative body and the first floor and other folks in the stakeholding process, but like how do we all come together in this interim and figure out what a better alternative is to CCJJ.
One that he says should include people who've been in the system. Coleman's sponsor of one of the most controversial criminal justice reform bills this year. It would have treated instead of prosecuting kids 12 and under.
I think the deterrent by going to jail, I'm never going to commit this crime again, isn't always the case. I think sometimes it reinforces that behavior. So I think our goal collectively, I know our goal, is to figure out how we all work best for our kids in terms of what the next structure looks like.
The governor had recommended sending the bill to CCJJ. It essentially became a study. Raines worries without the commission, there will be more extreme legislation.
I fear that without the CCJJ, there is an opening for abuse. And by abuse, I just mean too much power can be a bad thing, and it can be imposed on the rest of the state without adequate conversation and debate.
A spokesperson for Governor Polis sent me a statement saying the governor is disappointed CCJJ was not reauthorized, calling it an important deliberative body representing a broad spectrum of stakeholders that examine and bring forth evidence-based recommendations. The governor's office is evaluating the next possible steps to continue discussions. Sean Boyd covering Colorado First.